Think you know history? You might be surprised. Today we're diving into the unbelievable historical myths that people have passed down for centuries, only to discover that some of them are actually true. From mysterious origins to shocking truths, these tales will change the way you see history. Ready to be amazed? Let's get started. History is full of stories, some true, some exaggerated, and some downright unbelievable. But every now and then we stumble upon a myth that sounds so strange, so impossible, that it can't possibly be true. Right? Well, think again. These myths have been debated, dismissed, and disbelieved for years. But as it turns out, they are rooted in reality. So let's uncover the truth behind three of the most astonishing historical myths that are actually true. Our first myth takes us to ancient Greece and the legendary city of Troy. For centuries, people believed that the story of the Trojan Horse, a giant wooden horse used by the Greeks to infiltrate and conquer Troy, was just a dramatic tale of war. A clever story, yes, but only a myth, or so we thought. Archaeological evidence now suggests that the fall of Troy did happen, and while the specifics of the Trojan Horse remain debated, there's strong reason to believe that the tale was inspired by real events. The idea of using deception to win a war might have been true, making this a myth one of the most famous military strategies in history. Next, we travel to the Far East, where one of the most iconic structures in the world stands, the Great Wall of China. You've probably heard the claim that it's the only man-made structure visible from space. While this fact was debunked, since the wall is not visible to the naked eye from the moon, it turns out that from lower Earth orbit, the wall can be seen with aid under the right conditions. So while not entirely true, this myth has some basis in fact, blending the incredible achievements of ancient engineering with our modern fascination with space. It might sound like a joke, but in 1932, Australia was embroiled in what is known as the Great Emu War. Armed soldiers were deployed to combat emus that were wreaking havoc on farmlands. Despite using machine guns, the emus largely outsmarted the military, proving that sometimes even an army can't win against nature. During the 13th century, Pope Gregory IX declared that cats, particularly black cats, were associated with devil worship. This led to a mass extermination of cats across Europe. Ironically, the reduction in the cat population may have contributed to the spread of the Black Death, as the rat population, which carried the plague, increased unchecked. In 1518, the residents of Strasbourg experienced a bizarre phenomenon known as the dancing plague. Dozens of people suddenly began dancing uncontrollably in the streets, with some dancing for days until they collapsed from exhaustion. While the exact cause remains a mystery, it is believed to have been a case of mass hysteria or even a form of mass poisoning. When Howard Carter discovered the tomb of King Tutankhamun in 1922, it sparked rumors of an ancient curse. Many involved in the excavation died under mysterious circumstances, leading to widespread belief in the curse. While science has debunked many of these claims, the eerie coincidences continue to fascinate. Finally, we arrive in Europe, where one of the most persistent historical myths revolves around Napoleon Bonaparte. Known as one of the greatest military leaders in history, Napoleon is often remembered for being short. But here's the twist. Napoleon wasn't actually that short. The myth likely arose due to a mix-up in measurements between French and English units, and perhaps a bit of British propaganda. In fact, by today's standards, he was of average height, around 5'6" to 5'7". This goes to show that history is sometimes shaped by more than just facts. It's shaped by perception. And there you have it. Three myths that sounded too strange to be true, but in fact had a surprising amount of truth behind them. History is full of mysteries, and as we've seen, the lines between myth and reality are sometimes more blurred than we think. The next time you hear a wild historical tale, take a moment to wonder, could there be truth hidden within?